Let's discuss it.
Welcome back to DeJ'scussions, where we discuss the difficult, the uncomfortable, the unpopular, or the unknown about people or social topics. I have to thank you. Thank you all for coming back and joining me as viewers. But as a host, I have to say that I dropped the ball on being consistent and dedicated to what means the most to me, which is the people first and the show second. For over a year and a half, I've dropped the ball on doing what I'm supposed to be the most passionate about, which is opening minds up to understand another side of the story about various social topics or people, and I'm truly sorry for that from the bottom of my heart. But I do have to say thank you. Thank you to every single person over the course of the past year and a half who's asked me, when are we getting another episode of DeJscussions? Or, Deej, when are you getting back on your show? Thank you. Thank you for pushing me and reminding me that I'm not the only person who wants this show seriously. The love and support I felt from viewers who had no show to watch was amazing. You were all consistent in reminding me even when I wasn't consistent to you, and that means so much more than you'll ever know. You all saw what I didn't see in myself, and I will forever be grateful for that. So what has DJ Rachel been doing? I'm about to get real vulnerable with y'all for a second. I am a completely different person from who I was when I came up with the concept of what this show was going to be. In the past year and a half, I have went through a breakup. I went through deep, deep sadness, depressive feelings, and uncertainty. But then I began to find emotional stability, emotional independence, inner joy, and gain healthy weight back. I found a therapist, and I'm beginning to find mental stability. I have also fell in love. I've began to implement boundaries. But after all of that, for some reason, I still wasn't motivated to act on DeJscussions. My mind still felt messy, all over the place, and cluttered even after progressing and healing in all those areas. I still felt defeated and unhappy in certain parts of life. I was still battling depression day to day, but I felt as though I progressed so much emotionally and mentally despite the depression. I didn't understand how this didn't make me feel empowered to conquer the world. I also began to have anxiety-ridden sleep. I would be asleep for a full 8 hours and still not feel rested because I was subconsciously anxious. So one day I realized my messy, unsettled thoughts that left me unable to focus and unmotivated mirrored my bedroom. My bedroom was a complete mess. My room floor was covered in shoes, clothes, unpacked suitcases, papers, and water bottles. It was complete chaos. Every time I'd be in my room to try and create content for DeJscussions, I couldn't focus. I felt overwhelmed and stressed. It's like I had ideas but couldn't even organize the thoughts in my head to put them on paper. I began to question, was my environment infecting my mind, or was my mind infecting my environment? Honestly, I don't know, but I do know it was a never-ending cycle of feeling down, so not wanting to clean, and not wanting to clean because I felt down, and then feeling bad about who I was as a person because my room was a mess. I soon realized my room was representing how I felt on the inside, and I desperately wanted a change to how I felt inside and how I was living on the outside. So I did research, and there was plenty of articles and YouTube videos never ending explaining that clutter and chaos directly causes stress, the inability to focus, and feeling unsettled. So, Dr. Sherry Borg-Carter, a psychologist, wrote an article for Psychology Today explaining 8 reasons why clutter causes stress. 1. Clutter causes a lot of stimuli from our environment, whether it's visual, sound, hearing, touch, smell, or taste, which causes all of our senses to overwork when it isn't necessary. 2. Clutter is distracting. It takes our attention away from what we should be focusing on. 3. Clutter makes it hard for people to chill. Whether it's the physical act of cleaning or the mental burden clutter causes, it's hard for people to sit back and relax. 4. Clutter constantly sends signals to our brain that our work is not yet complete, which causes that constant unsettled feeling. 5. Clutter brings anxiety because it leaves us unsure of where some items may be, and it leaves us unsure of what it'll take to get through the mess. 6. Clutter can cause emotional instability. For people who can't operate in chaos or clutter, seeing it can cause feelings of embarrassment or guilt. 7. Clutter invades open spaces that normally would allow most people to be creative and brainstorm. So because of that, it hinders productivity, thinking, and being creative. 8. Clutter can make us easily angered or frustrated because it's not easy to find what we need through the mess. So after learning all of that, I realized my room was the reason I couldn't get my ideas out of my head. So I decided to clean. I decided to clean my room. Cleaning my room has always been a huge task for me, my entire life. It may seem very small to others, but it's always been a huge battle for me. I never wanted help with my room. I always wanted to do it myself. But I decided to humble myself and ask for help from my amazing boyfriend. And without a doubt, he said yes. Oddly enough, I began getting really excited inside. Finally, I had the courage to defeat the thing that was blocking my creative flow. So, the day we decided to tackle the beast of my room, I slowly felt less and less unsettled, anxious, unfocused, and unmotivated. By the time we finished, I was overwhelmed with relief. The very next day, I was able to sit down and continue to create new DeJscussions content. I felt focused, empowered, and super inspired. I couldn't stop. I spent the entire day typing, researching, and focusing on my true passion, DeJscussions. So the real question is, why did I decide to be open with y'all and break this down? I realized that the same way it's needed to physically remove clutter to move forward and function in a healthy manner is the same with your mind. We need to remove all the clutter, unhealthy thinking, hurt, and dysfunction we've experienced in life from our minds to be able to move forward, think, and function healthily. It was amazing to me because I did all the physical representation of that, which healed the mental and emotional aspect of this. My room is equivalent to my mind, and the clutter is equivalent to the hurtful things that we've experienced in life that leaves us with unhealthy and dysfunctional thought process. It's funny to me because I mentioned that I never wanted to help with my room, but that draws comparison to how many times people don't want outside help with their minds when it comes to any hurts or hang-ups they've experienced in life. Hence the reason there are so many who are against the idea of counseling or talking to someone about things they've been through in life. So I say all this to say we need home improvement. Improving our home, which is equivalent to our body, is what's going to help us move forward in life. So I am proud to announce that this is the introductory episode of DeJscussions, the home improvement series. In this series, we're going to do a major remodeling to our homes, y'all, aka our minds. I plan to touch on the following: emotional boundaries, codependency, trauma, T.E.A.R, which is trace, erase, and replace, and automatic negative thoughts. We're going to dig deep inside ourselves, y'all. As scary as it is to confront things we haven't felt, talked about, or thought about in a while, that is the key to maturing as people. So in our next episode, we're going to be touching on what emotional boundaries are and how we can set them for ourselves as people. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode. I'm so ecstatic to be back, and I promise you I'm more dedicated than ever.